Good morning, dear students. We're going to begin with section 2 of our grammar books, that is vocabulary. Now, we've already done a few lessons of grammar from section 1. Alright, so you also need to know a little bit of vocabulary. Vocabulary means the words that you use. You should know what is the meaning of those words and how to use them in a sentence. Alright, the first lesson that we're going to start with is phrases. Now, we've already done phrases before. However, let's just brush up on it. Firstly, what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words that makes some sense but not complete sense. They are part of a sentence, okay? But when you only read the phrase, they do not make complete sense. You need the entire sentence. For example, she felt very dejected. So, very dejected becomes your phrase. The two of them walked as far as Holloway. The two of them. He slept in a small corner of the attic. In a small corner of the attic becomes your phrase. Okay. He built a bridge to span the tide. To span the tide is your phrase here. Similarly, I want all of you all to go through the examples and also to try and solve the activities which are given to you on page number 70. Now here in the corner I have given you just a little bit of added information. Okay, a noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, as well as a prepositional phrase. Okay, so just go through that and you will understand. So just remember, a phrase is a group of words that make some sense but not complete sense. They are part of a whole sentence. Alright, next we come to formation of nouns. Now, what do you mean by this? This is very important. Right up till 10th standard, you need to remember how certain words can be changed, okay, or formed into nouns. Alright, so there is a certain formula which you need to remember. You can add suffixes at the end to words. Suffixes are letters that are added to the end of any word. Alright, and sometimes there may be changes in the spelling, so we have to be very careful. Alright, now what do you mean by formation of noun? When you're using that particular word in a sentence, it should be performing the function of a noun. Alright, for example, now there are certain rules and they've given you examples, so it becomes easier for you. First one is by adding ness, N-E-S-S. Alright, so first one is rich and you can add NESS, so it becomes richness. Wicked, wickedness. Care, carelessness. Happy, happiness. Did you understand? So adding the suffix ness can make that particular word a noun. Okay. Next you have ment, M-E-N-T. Alright, so pay, which is a verb, becomes a noun just by adding ment, payment. You can also use this formula where you can change or to form a noun. You can write to, have, and noun. Noun, you use the word that is being used. For example, to have richness, to have happiness. Okay, so if it makes sense to you, then it obviously becomes a noun, or it has been formed into a noun which plays the role of a noun in a sentence. Similarly, tion, this is very common when you want to make a noun. Okay, tion, so direct becomes direction, describe becomes description. Now please remember that the spelling has changed. It won't be description. Okay, it will become description with a p. Destroy becomes destruction. The y is missing. Alright, so you need to be very careful when you are changing or you are forming nouns. You have to make sure that when you add your suffix, the spelling also should be correct. Next you have ITION. Alright, so you have add and addition, recognize and recognition. See, the spelling again has changed. Alright, then you have SION, confess and confession, submit and submission. T is missing and you have your SION added at the end of the word, that is your suffix. TY, when you add TY also, you can change or transform a word to its noun form. Cruel, cruelty. Sure, surety. Okay. Next you have with ity. Regular, regularity. Remember that. Possible, possibility. Curious, curiosity. See the way that it's pronounced also changes. Next, I want you to read the remaining. It's very easy, class. You just need to remember that you need to have suffixes added to the end of the word in order to form a noun, or for that word to function as a noun in a sentence. So you can have ety. For social, you have society, various, variety. Cy, secret, so secrecy. ance is also a suffix which you add at the end. So appear would become appearance. ence, exist, existence. Okay. Al, also very important as a suffix. Betray becomes betrayal. ice, just, becomes justice. Advise becomes advice. Remember this also changes. All right, advise, but when you add the suffix ice, the spelling changes. Next, the words ending with th also changes the word to become or form a noun. For example, grow becomes growth, strong becomes strength. Th. Lastly, you have words ending with y. When you add the suffix y, it can also be a or become the noun form of that word. Discover becomes discovery. Assemble becomes assembly. Alright, so I want all of you all to remember these rules. If you do this, it's very easy to transform or to change a word into its noun form. Next, formation of adjectives. Now, an adjective can be formed again by adding suffixes, that is, letters that are added to the end of the word. Sometimes the spelling also might change, just like in the noun form. Alright, for example, ending in ful. Now, another way, like I told you, when you want to change to noun form, you can say to have and then noun. So here you can say to be adjective. So to be wonderful, to be beautiful, to be successful. All right, you get your adjective form. Next, you have ending in less. Adding less can also make it an adjective. Now, although most of them, like, you need to remember which suffixes when you add to the word becomes either a noun form or an adjective form. Now, less, home becomes homeless. He is a homeless man. It's describing more about the noun, therefore it becomes an adjective. Ending in ive, protect, protective. Ending in ous, mountain, mountainous. This is a mountainous area. What kind of area is it? It's a mountainous area. So therefore it is adding more information, or it's giving us more details about the noun or the pronoun. Ending in al, music, musical. Ending in ial, finance, financial. We say this is financial year now. So what kind of year is it? It's a financial year. So describing therefore becomes an adjective. Similarly, ending in ine, ending in ish. So you have fool and you have foolish. Again with able, profit and profitable, misery and miserable. Now here the spelling changes. Alright, similar with rely, reliable. You need to make sure that you remember spellings. When you're adding the suffix, the spelling also changes. Ending in y. Okay, so you have flower and you have flowery. Star and starry. This is a very starry night. So what kind of night is it? Starry. Therefore, it is describing more about the noun. Now here, ending in ending in ate, affection and affectionate, fortune and fortunate. Remember, spellings change. Ending in ANT, please and pleasant. Okay, this is a pleasant afternoon. Next, ending in ENT, innocence and innocent. Innocence would be your noun form. Innocent is your adjective form. Ending in ARY, revolution, revolutionary. I see a hero and heroic. Tragedy and tragic. Spellings again need to be focused on. Ending in AN, Africa, African. He is an African man. Describing more about the man. Okay. Next, EN, wood and wooden. SOME, fear and fearsome. Trouble and troublesome. Okay, these are also adjectives. Ending in LY, friend and friendly. Okay, scholar and scholarly. He is a friendly boy or he is a scholarly boy. Okay, describing more about the noun or the pronoun. All right, now we come to formation of verbs. Very easy. Verbs, you need to remember that if you put a to in front of any word, it should be a verb. All right, for example, to cry, to laugh, like we're already done with infinitives, right? So even if you want to change any other word in its verb form, you can add the word to in front, and if you get the answer, it becomes a verb. For example, to awaken, to simplify, to memorize. Okay, all right, let's start with the rules now. Here you can add both prefixes as well as suffixes. A prefix is something that comes before the word. A suffix is what we add after the word. All right. First, starting and beginning with en or em. For example, large would be to enlarge. List would be enlist. Balm would be embalm. They embalm bodies, no, when you are mummifying them. All right. Beginning with im, prison and imprison. Be, little and belittle. Okay, these are very important for you to remember, that you should know these words in order to know what kind of form they are in, whether they are in the noun form, whether they are in the adjective form, in the verb form, or in the adverb form. Beginning with dis, so robe and disrobe, band and disband. Next you come to beginning with ap, so peas and appease, portion and apportion. So you need to know the how you need to add these prefixes in order to change or to make them in the verb form. Now we're going to add suffixes to the various words ending with ise or ize. Popular, popularize. Crystal, crystallize. All right. Next you come to ify, classify, glorify. These are the words when you use to make them into the verb form. En, height and heighten, bright and brighten. Words ending with ate also become verb forms. For example, domestic would be domesticate. Okay, people would become populate, ate. Now, shortening of a word also can make it into a verb form. For example, imagination becomes your noun form. But if you want to change it into a verb form, you can put the word to imagine. Understood? Arrangement, addition of ment would make it a noun form. But if you want to make it into a verb form, to arrange. So we are shortening the word. Similar with growth and grow, to grow, excellent and excel. Okay, lastly you come to the rule where the change the ending from f to ve. Okay, for example, proof, proof is changed to prove. Prove. Similarly, I'll give you another example like belief. Belief would turn to believe. Believe. Okay, so you should know how these words have been changed using these various rules. Now, next we come to the formation of adverbs. Now, so far we've already seen how to change words into the noun form, how to change words into the adjective form, how to change words into the verb form. Now we're going to see how to change words into its adverb form. An adverb is a word that tells you more about a verb. We are all aware of this, but it also gives us more information about an adjective, or it gives you more information about another adverb. This is what we need to remember. An adjective tells you more about a noun or a pronoun. Okay, so an adverb gives us more information about a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Now, let us see what are the various examples that we get. Now, usually most of the time, okay, this is not like a rule, but you need to remember that most adjectives end with ly. However, there are various exceptions to this. All right, so they bent slightly, the adverb of quality telling us about the verb bent. How did it bend? It bent slightly. Next, that is very strange. So you have the adverb of degree telling us about the adjective strange, all right? Telling us how strange it is. It is very strange. Two boys were lying close together. Adverb of quality telling us about the adverb together. Together is also an adverb, but we're getting more information about how they were lying together, that is close. Luckily, they were able to slip back. Adverb of quality telling us that the whole statement, that they were able to slip back. Okay, how did they slip back? They were luckily able to slip back. So therefore, here you have an adverb where you can see that luckily becomes the adverb because it's telling you more about the whole statement. All right. Now, some facts about adverbs. I want all of you all to read this too in your textbooks, page number 80. Many adverbs end in ly. Like I've told you before, most of the adverbs end in ly. However, you have certain exceptions, all right, where you have certain adverbs that do not end in ly, like now, rather, so, yesterday, to, also, there, well. All of these are also adverbs, but they don't end in ly. Therefore, they are exceptions. Now, do not confuse an adverb with a preposition. What does a preposition do? A preposition is always followed by a noun or a pronoun. Correct? Because it has to give the relation between what is happening. But in an adverb, it can end with your adverb. The sentence can end with an adverb and still make sense. For example, he threw the ball down. Down becomes your adverb. He threw the ball down the stairs. Okay, then that becomes your preposition. All right, so do not confuse an adverb with a preposition. Many adjectives can also be used as adverbs. Okay, remember this, please mark that also. Many adjectives can be used as adverbs. To know the difference in use, remember that an adjective qualifies a noun, whereas an adverb tells you more about a verb. For example, very easy to understand, it is hard work. What kind of work is it? Very hard, all right? But he worked hard all day. How did he work? It's telling you more about the verb, how he worked. Then you get the adverb hard. Do you understand? So you should not be able to confuse an adverb with a preposition, and also how adjectives can be used as adverbs, but depending on how they have been used in the sentence. All right. Now that we have finished with formation of nouns, adjectives, verbs and adverbs, we come to a very easy topic class. You have been doing this right from The first standard onwards, synonyms and antonyms. Remember, synonyms are same words, similar words, okay, similar meaning words, and antonym is your opposite words. So, a synonym is a word or phrase that means exactly or nearly the same thing as other words or phrases in the same language. For example, when you take the second one, see, it means to look, to notice, to observe, and to watch. Although they are all different words, they all mean the same. When you come to an antonym, it expresses the opposite meaning of the word. Alright, so you need to remember that sometimes you can add prefixes or suffixes in order to make these opposite words, but sometimes they are completely different from one another. For example, if I say hot and cold, they are two different words but they mean opposites. But if I give you care, then you add the suffix less, care and careless. Understood? So sometimes you can add your suffix or prefix in order to make it an antonym, or sometimes the words are completely different from one another. Alright? Now here there are certain rules, very easy how to add the prefixes. For in you have justice, injustice. Let's go to the last one beginning with ab. So you have normal and you have abnormal. So just by adding that prefix, you can make it into the opposite word. Similar with the suffix, okay, you can add full and less. For example, harmful, it become harmless. Careful becomes careless. Okay, so you need to be able to understand what is an antonym, what is a synonym. Okay, we come to the last topic for the day today, that is your homonyms, homophones and homographs. Okay, very easy. In fact, it is the most easiest topic in your book right now. Let's start with homonyms. All right, now there are many words or pairs in the words in the English language which have similarities or differences with regard to spelling, sound or meaning. A study of such words helps to use them correctly in context. So when I told you vocabulary means words which you should know when to use, how to use them in a particular sentence. So here this helps us to understand words furthermore. Sometimes we see that there are words that sound the same, they are even spelt the same, but they have very different meanings. Alright, for example, these are known as homonyms. The word bark, B-A-R-K, has two distinct meanings. Although they are spelt the same, they sound the same, but they have two different meanings. Alright, one bark is the sound that is made by a dog. The dog barks, correct? However, the other meaning is the outer covering of a tree. Alright, we say that the tree bark is rough. So, even though the word has the same spelling as well as the same pronunciation, okay, they sound the same, they have completely different meanings. Homophones. Very easy to remember homophone. A phone is where you listen to something, right? So, the words that sound the same, only that they sound the same but have completely different spellings and completely different meanings. Okay, so those are known as homophones. For example, ate and ate. Okay, he ate an apple, but 8 comes after 7. So you see how even though they have different spellings, they have different meanings, but they sound exactly the same. Next we come to homographs. Homographs are words that are spelt the same and they may or may not have the exact same uh, sound, or and obviously they have different meanings. Okay, so only that they are spelt the same. Many a times they may not be the same sounding, okay, and they also have very different meanings. For example, here desert, a vast sandy area. All right, we say Rajasthan is a desert area, okay, but here Desert means to also leave a person or a place. Okay, so we say that this is a deserted area, means there is no one around. So even though they have the same spelling, they may or may not have the same sound, and they have completely different meanings. Okay, so remember, homonyms, they sound the same, they are spelled the same, but have different meanings. Homophones, they sound the same, they have different spellings and different meanings. And homographs, they have the same spelling, they may or may not sound the same, but they have different meanings. Okay, so with that we come to the end of our lesson. I hope you all have understood all these various chapters which we have completed from the vocabulary section. I want all of you all to solve all the exercises from these chapters. All right, take your time and do it. Please do not copy the answers from the back of the text. Okay, you should be able to do them by yourself without any help. Okay, so thank you children, have a wonderful day and God bless all of you all.